Here's what we call the quiet trap of success. You did it. The business works. The money is there. And on paper, you are living the life that most people dream of. But you're still checking Slack at 10 p.m. at night. You're still pacing around the kitchen thinking about sales numbers. You are still unable to sit still on a Sunday without feeling like you're failing or that you're falling behind. Welcome to the quiet trap of success, folks. The invisible prison that high performers build for themselves. It's not stress from survival anymore. It is stress from a script that you can't seem to stop performing. It's one that says, I'm only valuable when I am producing. And no one really sees it from the outside. Your spouse thinks that you're addicted to work. Your friends assume that you are just driven. Your team thinks that you are a machine. But inside you feel like a puppet that's on strings that you tied yourself. The hardest part, you don't know how to stop. Because somewhere along the line, you internalize this lie. If I just build a little more, I'll finally feel free. So you keep optimizing, you keep scaling, you keep pushing towards some kind of future version of peace that never quite arrives. But here's something you've got to hear, and I say this as someone who had to learn this the hard way. Freedom does not come from what you build. It comes from what you untether. And if you've already hit your financial goals and you still feel trapped, then this video, it's for you. Let's unpack that lie that keeps high achievers overworking long after they've made it, and how to finally break free. Let's talk about why the very things that made you successful are now the exact things that are holding you back. The tools that got you here, they're keeping you stuck. So let's talk about the founder toolkit. You know the one: discipline, hustle, control, optimization, perfectionism. These are the traits that helped you climb, that fueled the 80-hour weeks and built that 7-figure brand, that made you respected, needed, praised. They were your edge until they became your cage. High performance tools, they are incredible for building empires, but most people don't realize this. They are terrible for sustaining peace. You built systems to grow your business, but not your nervous system. You mastered leverage, but you forgot how to rest. You scaled your income, but not intimacy, presence, or trust. Now those same tools that once made you powerful are the very same ones that are keeping you in a state of low-grade panic. You can't stop optimizing. You can't sit in silence. You can't just open your laptop without feeling like there's something you should be doing. But here's the shift. The second mountain of life, it requires a very different tool set. You don't need more hustle. You don't need, more control. You need capacity. You need discernment. You don't need more growth. You need space. But no one teaches this. Most personal growth content, it just tells you to double down. More systems, more structure, more 10x, which is exactly how founders end up burned out with a $3 million company and no desire to wake up. This isn't about abandoning ambition. It is about learning to wield it differently. All right? Now I'm going to share the internal rewiring process that I had to go through. All right? And there are 3 emotional lies that were driving me long after I hit my goals. So let's talk about these lies, all right? Because they're just going to keep you chasing. Nobody really talks about how founders lie to themselves. A lot. Not maliciously, not even consciously, but once you've spent a decade or so climbing, you internalize a set of beliefs that shape every single decision. And most of them are invisible until they actually break you. So here are the 3 biggest lies that I had to unlearn. Here's the first one. I need to stay hungry. It sounds noble, but under the surface it's usually fear. Fear that if you slow down, you're going to lose your edge. That if you're not in motion, someone else is going to outpace you. So you keep chasing, not because you need more, but because stillness feels unsafe. And the truth, real power, it's not frantic. It's grounded. Hunger's a great spark, but it can't be your fuel forever. Here's lie number 2. Success should feel better. Founders hit the goal, and then they feel nothing. They're confused. They assume that they must not have hit the right goal yet. So they build another mountain, launch another offer. They double the revenue. But what if that emptiness is not from what you built, but why you built it? I spent years chasing numbers, not because I needed more, but because I was trying to feel something that achievement could never ever give me. Here's lie number 3. Slowing down is quitting. This is the hardest one, okay? For high performers, stillness usually equals regression. You don't pause, you push. But that belief is going to destroy your nervous system. I had to learn the difference between quitting and integrating, between burnout and rebirth. Slowing down didn't kill my ambition. It clarified it. Okay? So, now it's time to walk you through the moment that I finally broke. The emotional crash that I did not see coming. And the one decision that changed everything. Here's the crash. The thing that finally made me change. You're not going to change when things are fine. You change when your body stops letting you lie. That's exactly what happened to me. From the outside, I was doing every single thing right. My business was profitable. My reputation was growing. I had more options than basically ever. But I couldn't really feel any of it. Every win felt muted. Every morning felt heavier. I was stuck in this cycle of compulsive building. Not out of vision, but obligation. And then came the crash. There wasn't really a breakdown in the dramatic, movie scene kind of sense. There were no ambulances, there was no screaming. It was just emptiness. One morning, I kind of sat at my desk and I really couldn't open my laptop. And it wasn't because I was lazy. It wasn't because I didn't care. It's because something in me was just done. I felt like I had built this beautiful machine that owned me. My calendar was full, my DMs were packed, my brand was visible. But I was just kind of nowhere in it. It wasn't burnout from overwork. It was burnout from disconnection. That day, I walked out of my office, sat in my backyard, and I cried. Not because something had gone wrong, but because I realized that I'd built a life that looked exactly how I wanted it to. But I felt nothing. It just didn't feel like me. That was the turning point. That was the turning point. But now I can share the exact question that I asked myself, the one that reshaped how I define success and led me to rebuild a business around peace and not pressure. So here's that one question that rebuilt everything. Sitting there in silence, I realized something very terrifying. I had no idea what I wanted anymore. At least not really. So I asked myself this question that felt almost too simple. If I could build from scratch, no pressure, no audience, no past, what would I build for me? At first I didn't have the answer, but the question really did stay with me. And over the next few days, it started to work on me. It kind of stripped away the noise, the audience expectations, the old version of me that I was still performing for. And it forced me to confront the truth. Most of what I'd built, it was never really about freedom. It was about proof. proof that I was good enough, that I was smart enough, that I was successful enough. But freedom, true, real freedom, that is not performance, it is presence. So I got honest. What kind of business would give me energy instead of drain it? What would it look like to build a brand that felt like me? What if I just stopped chasing growth and started chasing alignment? Those questions, they didn't just shift my business model, okay? They shifted my identity. I scrapped the pressure-based funnel. I stopped chasing scale just for the sake of it. I turned down clients that didn't energize me. I said no to partnerships that looked good on paper, but just felt misaligned. I rebuilt from the inside out and quietly, not to impress anyone, but to feel alive again. So now it's time to break down what that rebuild actually looked like. The systems that I changed, the offers that I kept, and the structure that now earns a very quiet living every single month without the chaos. So here's that 25K, 30K, 50K month without the chaos. Let's run the numbers. Because if we're being honest, you don't really want to just feel better. You want to build something that works. And not in theory, not someday, now. And here's what that actually looked like for me. All right. Revenue target, let's say, 25K a month. But instead of stacking more clients, launching more offers, or building this 20-person team, you simplify. I looked at what already worked, what already mattered to my best fit clients, and I doubled down on that. So I broke it into 3 different parts. The first one was community, $249 a month. Scalable, valuable, low maintenance. I show up, I deliver real value, and attract founders who want calm authority without the hype. Second, CRM, SaaS. That's an add-on, $250 a month. Quiet, recurring revenue stream built on existing need. No extra fulfillment, no reinventing the wheel. Just aligned utility. And 3, done-for-you branding and coaching. This is the high ticket, right? Only for the right fits. High margin, low volume, no launches, no scarcity BS, just results and quiet referrals. Here's the philosophy. Every part of this system, it had to meet 3 rules. Low emotional cost, I will not burn out again. High lifetime value, I want depth, not churn. Aligned delivery, if it does not fit my nervous system, it doesn't get built. And the magic? Once I stopped building for noise, the right people found me. I wasn't chasing, I was attracting. I wasn't scaling, I was stabilizing. And every dollar that I earned came without the resentment tax, which, quite frankly, sucks. So here's how I changed the way I marketed this system, so I could grow without pushing, performing, or pretending. Quiet marketing that actually works. If you have felt like marketing yourself is just this game of louder posts and trend jacking and fake urgency, you are not wrong, but you're being lied to. Because the people who sell you authenticity in one breath, they are often the same ones pushing 10-step funnels, fake countdown timers, and performance masks. Okay? I lived that cycle. I did the viral posts. I did the 7-day launch windows. Hell, I even pretended like I enjoyed sales calls. But none of it felt true, and worse off, none of it really lasted. So I tried something radically different. I marketed like a founder and not a performer. This is exactly how it worked. First, I chose resonance over reach. Instead of trying to go viral, I focused on saying things that only my people would feel. That meant sharper beliefs, stronger lines in the sand, and posts that really repelled just as much as they attracted. Second, I stopped writing content and I started building trust assets. Every post, every video, every email, it had one job: to quietly build belief in a better way. I wasn't chasing engagement. I was building depth. 3, I eliminated the pressure to post every single day. My audience doesn't need volume. What they need is leadership. And if I can give them that once or even twice a week in a way that moves them, I'm gonna win. So quiet marketing, it's not about hiding. It's about removing the noise so that your actual message can land. When your work is aligned, when your energy is calm, when your voice is true, the right people, they don't just listen, they follow. We're going to wrap this up, okay? And I'm going to show you why this isn't just a strategy. It is a movement, and how it might be the only kind of success left worth chasing. This is the quiet success movement. It's not just this personal pivot. This is a rejection of the entire system that tells founders that the only way to win is to run louder, harder, faster, until you burn out, sell, or collapse. Quiet success is not about hiding from ambition. It is about redefining it. It is about realizing that peace is not the enemy of growth, but it is the foundation of it. It's about trading that dopamine rush of vanity metrics for the deep satisfaction of real traction. And it's about finally giving yourself permission to build a business and a life that actually feels like you. So let's be clear here. Quiet success is not for everyone. If you need to be the loudest voice in the room, it's probably not for you. If you're addicted to funnels and hacks and scale at all costs, it's not for you. However, if you've made the money, built the thing, checked every box, and you still find yourself asking this question, why does it still feel like something's missing? Then yeah, this might be the only path left worth walking. So here's what it can look like, all right? 25 grand a month doing work that you love, for people that you respect, clients who come to you without begging or chasing, a brand that grows quietly in the background, even when you step away, space, presence, sanity, and the ability to say no to the things that never felt right to begin with. This is the movement that I am building. For founders like you, for people like us. If that is you, you can subscribe to my newsletter, you can join the community, and you can come build this thing with me. All right, if you want to subscribe to the newsletter, all right, these are weekly insights on success, on identity, quiet growth. You can check out natberman.com. If you want to join my community, which consists of founders and creators that are building calm and powerful brands, you can check out joinbrandbuilt.com. And obviously, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, I highly recommend that you do. And I will see you in the next video.